Welcome once again to United in God's Work. That's what we are with you, and that's what we are with great folks like Karen Fisher, manager of Food for the Poor's brand new Benevolent program, doing some amazing things. If you could sum up the Benevolent program in one sentence, what would you say, Karen?
That's a great question, Chris. And what I would say is that this program is a miracle. It is absolutely a way of seeing God's miracle in our lives every single day. Yeah.
And you see it.
I do see it through the ups and the downs. I feel God's will in my life and the will of the people we're serving, the poor. And I have never felt so touched or so in tune to what I should be doing with my life. We're called to help others, and God found the way for me to be a part of that picture, and I am honored.
Well, speaking of miracles, there's a lot that happens in the countries that we serve. We find that women and children suffer the most in desperate poverty. What is it like when a mother has a child that's born without their vital organs?
Oh, gosh, that's overwhelming. I can't even begin to imagine what that would be like, but it does open my heart and my soul to the fact that this is happening more often than not, and that they have no option or choices. So that's pure desperation. In the cases that I've been exposed to, not only is it that, it is an opportunity for a renewal of faith. That's all they have. And I cannot believe the strength and the perseverance of these moms that honestly, they can't go down the street to a hospital. They can't call an ambulance. They can't make a call to 911. There is nothing. There's nothing.
Speaking of strength, tell us about Isabel.
So Isabel is mama to baby Marcela, and we'll talk a little bit more about Marcela in a minute. Isabel is only 23, 24 years old. In Guatemala, and she has 2 daughters. She has a minimal education, but she has a will and a strength that is beyond measure. And I am in awe of young Isabel and what she has accomplished. Isabel was told that her daughter, born with her heart and her abdomen outside of her body, would only live at most a couple days. And she never stopped praying and fighting for her daughter. So the good news is Marcela's a fighter as well. She doesn't know it yet because she's a baby.
Now, let me stop right here and tell the people we're going to show you some video. We're going to show you some photos that may be a little disturbing. It's a little child, and but this it paints that, I guess, the black velvet background where we put the diamonds on and show off the miraculous. So
Isabel had her baby. They live in a very small, remote village. The community came together and tried to do everything they possibly could so that Marcela could possibly go to the United States, because that's the only place that they knew of that she could get the surgery she needed. But there was no way they could raise the money that they needed in this tiny little isolated village of basically very poor people. But they tried. So a Spanish network, TV network, picked it up in Miami. It was heard by a hairdresser in Broward County who happens to have one of our coworkers, Fatima, as a client. So she told Fatima about this little baby Marcela, and Fatima, with her passion for doing the Lord's work.
We both are mutual friends with Fatima, so when we say passion.
Passion is an understatement. When you see Fatima, what's the first thing you do? You smile, and you just feel, whoosh, she's amazing. So she brought it to the attention of the people here at Food for the Poor. The same cardiologist that worked on our previous patient, Capri, said that he could do this surgery. Meanwhile, Marcela is suffering, but she's not dying. And we knew we did not have time on our side, and we had to raise a lot of money. And Chris, when I tell you that we are blessed with our donors, I can't even begin to tell you we raised a lot of money in a very short period of time. And this is where God's hand was in it, because this is not humanly possible. When I think back at that period of like everything going so fast, it was chaotic, it was scary, and it all came together. We were able to get their tickets. We overcame COVID, language barriers, passports, visas, everything happened in a 6-week period of time or less, including raising over $200,000. Our donors came through, and we got Marcela to Boston.
Wow.
Yeah. And the whole time, Isabel just thanked us and thanked the donors, and all she could do was show gratitude to us and to God. It was always God first, always. I learned a lot from Isabel. A lot from that little 23, 24-year-old mama. Yeah. Wow. She is my hero. And I told her that on an occasion. I didn't want to make her uncomfortable with my praise, but on occasion, I would just say, Isabel, I'm on the floor just in awe of your strength and your conviction that God's got this.
Because in the middle of this, all these great things going on, you still have a mother who's looking at her child with her vital organs on the outside. Thank God she was able to get a brace, and that's more stabilized.
But that was after the surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So, they were afraid to hold her. They had to hold her in a specific way because they were afraid of hurting that. Mm-hmm. They were petrified. Every step they took with her was a frightening step. Mm. And I can't, again, it's hard enough, hard enough to hold not even a 1-year-old, a 6-month-old or 7-month-old who's got energy and kicking. And here you are traveling to a country, first of all, they've never traveled before. They've never been in the States. They don't speak English. All of this is new. And they're holding this little baby that's like a China doll for them. Mm. And they don't know what to expect, but yet they stayed so strong. And we assured them that they have a team of prayer warriors and loving donors. They're not alone because they've got this earthly group. But again, who's at the top of all this? Who's the director? It is God. Because again, without him, this would never have happened. Mm. And I have not personally met them yet, but I feel connected to this family like you cannot believe. And Marcela did have her surgery. It was a long surgery. Her heart was in worse shape than they anticipated. So they decided they were going to have to do this in 2 parts.
Okay.
So they got the heart fixed because she had some holes and other areas, very technical. So they fitted her with a brace to protect this external thing, her organs, and that kind of helped a lot. And she went back to Guatemala. They went back to Guatemala. We've been helping them with formula because she can't eat a lot because her intestines are not where they belong. But she's growing and
got a full head of hair.
She's beautiful. And Mom, this is the highlight of all this. Mom sent me an email and she said, she's very fussy. She wants things her way and only her way. If she doesn't get her way, she starts to cry. She's very demanding. She's kind of moody. I'm like, you've got a perfect toddler, I said, you wait, when this baby is completely healed, wow, are you going to have something on your hands?
Yeah, now she's got some challenges ahead, and we'll talk about that. But I want to talk about how this whole thing came full circle for you, and it was really a booster rocket for your faith.
Yeah, it was. And I mean, all this time that I've been at not just Food for the Poor, but in my own journey out with the organization and outside of the organization, I kind of question everything. I'm a little difficult that way, and I know that. And I was told that all my life, but I was always asking God, what is your will for me? What is it that I'm supposed to be doing? Is it just, if it's to being in a computer supporting people, that's fine, I'll do it. But I really just had this nagging feeling there was more. And the more that I got involved with this program and the more people responded to it and the faith they put in me, that you can manage this, Karen. We want you to manage this. That puts a lot of pressure on you in a way, because people are seeing you for what they can see you as, and I'm seeing myself maybe here. So maybe that's a self-esteem thing. I don't know, but God took care of all that. And he said, Karen, I'm not going to put you here. I'm going to put you here.
And he did it in a very special way in Boston.
This whole situation was so quickly done that it just dawned on me when I wake up in the morning and I give God gratitude and prayer. The things that were happening in Boston just took off and became real. And I think one of the most emotional things, or one of the most amazing things I saw happen, was when Isabel and Marcela were able to meet Capri and Shonique. Capri is our first child that had the surgery at Boston Children's. And because their appointments overlapped, I was able to coordinate a meeting between the two of them. And when they finally crossed paths and saw each other, Shonique wrote to me and she said, we hugged like we've known each other forever. And they immediately bonded. They did not speak the same language, Chris. They speak Spanish and English, or patois. They come from different parts of the world, but guess what? They both have faith. They both have little girls that needed help. They got help, and they connected in a way that I could never understand, because fortunately my daughter's healthy. These two connected in the worst case scenarios that turned into the most beautiful things. And that's what the potential is for a lot of things, right? And that really has resonated with me. I could not have said that to you a year ago without flinching, because I didn't feel it. But over the course of these situations and my growth in prayer, I can speak so much freer about what God, and you know what it is? It's giving up control. It really is. It's saying, this isn't my doing, because there's no way I could have done this. I know that. I know my limitations.
It's a God thing.
Yeah, it is.
And that's how we're all united in God's work. Karen Fisher is a manager of our Benevolent program, a brand new endeavor here at Food for the Poor. And we've been talking a lot about baby Marcela. Hope you've been inspired by her story, how she survived. She's not out of the woods yet.
Nope.
She's got a surgery that's scheduled really soon.
Yep, in August. It's the second stage of her surgery. And this one is actually much more expensive, and it's going to be a lot more serious, because they're opening her up completely and putting her heart back where it belongs, her diaphragm back. All her internal organs are going to get placed where they belong.
Well, we're going to pray that the Lord helps us all to put our hearts where they belong.
Oh, yeah.
And that's with her. There's a link below you can click on and find out how you can give and be a part of yet another miracle. Karen Fisher, I love you, lady.
And I love you, and thank you so much, Chris. This is dear to my heart, and I know it's been dear to our donors' hearts. So I'm so happy to inspire other people.
Amen. Well, don't forget our website, foodforthepoor.org. And also don't forget to like and share and subscribe right here to our YouTube channel, where we will be finding more ways where we can all be united in God's work. I'm Chris Wallace. God bless you. We'll see you soon.
This has been a production of Food for the Poor, united in God's work.